It's about to get dramatic.
What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I finally hit 10,000k VR. Yes, it is about time. I've been waiting for this, guys, honestly, to hit this moment, and it feels kind of good. And now that I've hit, I'm basically just gonna retire off into the wind and wait for Mario Kart 9, basically. But no, nonetheless, I'm glad I kind of got to this milestone, because I've been wanting to get to this for a while now. I think you guys have known this for like the last probably year, maybe year and a half now. I've been wanting to do this. So yeah, nonetheless, happy I got there. This wasn't exactly it wasn't exactly done in one video. I did have to record at different times, but yeah, it's pretty much done. The milestone's there and done. I won't try and go any higher and whatnot, because there isn't any point. Mario Kart 9 is around the corner, and I want to talk about the wish list. I actually want to talk about everything that's on my wish list about Mario Kart 9. I'm sure there's some things that you people will obviously want as well, but let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see implemented as well, because I feel like the more we discuss this and the more we try and understand it, and hopefully, like, before the game comes out, we can actually say to Nintendo, like, hopefully, well, this is what we want and this is what we don't want again, and maybe implement something new. And I'm sure they've got new ideas as well, and probably are making the right changes, but we'll have to see pretty much at April, when it's the Nintendo Switch reveal, the full reveal. So hopefully when that reveal comes out, we'll be going into more detail about the Switch itself. That's why I didn't make a video on the trailer, but I would definitely want to talk about Mario Kart 9. Okay, guys, so let's start with the VR bracket. So when we're online, you guys know it's obviously if you're an avid Mario Kart player, you guys know what I'm going to be saying when it comes to VR, is that, you know, I've seen lobbies with 1,000 VR players to 90,000 players, and I'm thinking, how did these two type of players get in the same lobby? Now, I understand Mario Kart is pretty much mostly a casual game to a lot of people, but to the people that do spend a lot of time on Mario Kart and play it consistently, even to the pro players, this is kind of like where I have to say, well, this is a bit, you know, unrealistic. You know, I mean, if I have like 9,000 VR, there is no way I should be in a lobby that's basically 20,000 to 30,000 VR. I don't think that is realistic, and it's not going to benefit me, because yeah, if I win, I get a good amount of VR, but if the other person loses, that means they get more VR stripped away from them, and then not only that, if I lose, I don't lose much VR. So for example, if I come 5th or 6th or maybe even 7th, which is obviously bottom tier, I won't lose so much amount of VR compared to a person who has, like, let's say for example 20,000. That's just not you know, the person that has that 20,000 VR, they're going to be losing what, like a good minus 15, because again, it varies. It does vary when the bracket is like this, and I want that to be the bracket. I want Mario Kart to have that type of bracket. Obviously, if it's with your friends, then the bracket shouldn't really even matter in that sort of sense, because you're playing amongst friends, and you know, it could be a casual, it could be a competitive thing. But I think for the more so for people who are competitively online or consistently online, then we need to have a VR bracket. Next, we need to talk about being disconnected whilst you're online. You lose VR for that as well, and that's what's annoying about being disconnected when you're online. Now, it could be due to your connection, but I feel like it could also be due to the server thing. So I do think that with the Nintendo Switch 2, they can find a way to improve the online servers for Mario Kart, because when you just disconnected, and it's not even your fault, your Wi-Fi, your setup could be really good, but then you're getting disconnected and you're losing VR for that. And I think that's kind of silly, because especially, like I said, if it's not your fault, it's not your fault. So that does definitely need to be improved, and I hope that is implemented in the next, obviously, game. Next, we were going to be talking about items. Now, we're not going to be talking about all these items. I think all the items in Mario Kart are fine, pretty much. I don't think they necessarily need to add anything new or anything older into the newer game. But one thing I will say, they could bring back fake boxes. The reason why I say fake boxes, because that was a thing in Double Dash, and I thought that was a good idea, because You know, you can set a box right next to obviously a real item box, and before in the older Mario Karts there was space between the boxes. Now there isn't, so it's kind of unbelievable. Or you could set it literally on top of one, if that was the case. But yeah, I think fake boxes do need to come back. It's definitely a it's one of those. It's a lost art, I think, personally. I don't know about a lot of other people, but I personally think it's a lost art not having those around. And yeah, so you know, hopefully we can see them implemented for the game. I definitely want to see them implemented for Mario Kart 9, and I think that would be something interesting. That's something for Mario Kart Double Dash to come back like that. Maybe that's just me. Maybe there's others out there that would like that, but that's just personally me. But yeah, let's get more into the detail of the items right now. So the blue shell and the shock. Now, I feel like these two items are so common, especially if you're in the bottom tier whilst racing. So I do think that having a 30-second window gap for a blue shell isn't longer enough. I think it needs to be longer. It doesn't need to be this short, because when you really think about it, the blue shell can come at any time. When you honestly think about it, it could come like either on the second lap or even on the third lap. I've even seen a blue shell on the first lap. So I'm thinking 30 seconds, is that really common? Should that really be common? You know, especially for the bottom tier players. And then of course, you know, when you're in first, I do feel like that you need more items to defend yourself. You know, especially if people have a blue shell, red shell, whatever you want, right? You should have an item to defend yourself. And what's common in first is the bomb and the super core. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, these items are not common in first. Well, they are, because you can't get these items like if you're basically last or in the mid tier. Well, actually no, you can. Sorry, you actually can. But when you're first, it's a bit more common, because think about it. You know, the only thing you can really get in first is green shells, bananas, super horn, and a bomb. And I'm thinking, what do you need a bomb for specifically, especially in first? I mean, obviously you can throw it back, which is fine, which I'm not saying isn't necessary. But then also, it's like a bomb isn't always going to defend you from a blue shell. Now, if you obviously can make your way all the way from last to first with a star, cool. We all know the star's invincible, but we do need to protect ourselves being first. I think we need to cater for the people in first now, because we're getting bombarded with stuff most of the time. So yeah, I think with the blue shell shock, it's really got to be I don't want to say nerfed, but I just want it to be patterned to a point where it's like, okay, it's not as common, we're not going to get frequently shocked, you don't have to worry, you know. And sometimes a blue shell would be good every couple of games or something, or once every game. Like at least that. If that's what they do in Mario Kart 9, I think I'll be okay with that. Next, we have wider range of circuits. Now, you know, guys, for Mario Kart 9, circuits are going to be it's the biggest thing. Okay, and I think we all want to learn the lines. We want to know obviously how to do shortcuts, whether that's with a mushroom or shroomless. That's what we want, really, right? And I think some of the circuits that have come from the N64 and the SNES to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they haven't been the best. They have not been the best. So when you look at a circuit like Toad Turnpike, for example, I used to love that on N64, but when it came to in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I hate it. It's just so bland. There's nothing really to it, and I'm thinking we need to change this up. We definitely need to change this up. It's either they add something to it to make it interesting again, or they just don't bring it in at all, because I think bringing in those type of circuits, it's going to be boring. And I think, you know, I'm only speaking for the people that are, you know, common, consistent Mario Kart players as well. So for the casuals, I understand if you like Toaster Back, I understand it, I get it. Like, I'm not sitting here saying not to like it, but I'm just thinking about what consistently. Or there needs to be a mode where you can just pick old Mario Karts circuits and new Mario Kart circuits, and yeah, just keep it like that. But again, like I said, it's gonna have to be transferred over. Now, I know I'm probably only speaking for like maybe a small percentage of people, but I think there needs to be some new modes for battle, because I think ever since I've got Mario Kart, I have played battle. I'm not saying I haven't played it yet. It's good to play in your downtime when you're not doing online races, but there's nothing much to battle these days, because it's not, you know, I think the modes in it are just not not as they're not bad, but it's just pretty much the same thing, you know. And I'm thinking, well, can they not add new type of modes for battle and add some and bring back some stages as well for battle 2 as well? I would love to see the GameCube, you know, make a more appearance in the Mario Kart games, because I feel like there was a lot of good circuits in the GameCube era for me personally. So I would love to see more GameCube stages and obviously circuits be in Mario Kart 9. So, but yeah, back to battle itself. We just need some more modes. I think that's just honestly what it is. There's nothing really it's all self-explanatory for the least anyway, just to say, yeah, more new modes for battle keeps those players who don't consistently want to play online racing and stuff like that. So yeah, since the from what I saw from that little teaser we got from the Switch reveal, I do think Mario Kart is pushing, I'm assuming they're pushing what, online players to 24 now. So I feel like there's going to be a setting for 12 to 24, or you can either do both, or you can either do either one. So I think it's going to be like that. Hopefully it's like that. I hope we have a choice, because if it's just always 24, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like it's going to get overcrowded at times, even if the race circuits do increase their size. But if that is the case for Mario Kart 9, where they do have obviously bigger circuits, I think they need to implicate a double dash feature where you could actually swap characters. That would be really good. And I think you could even team up with a friend and do it that way. I think that would be so good to do. I think it'll be harder, especially if you're playing with someone across the world. The timing might be off sometimes, especially with the double dash feature swap. But nonetheless, I think it'll be a great feature to have. We haven't seen much with double dash over the years of Mario Kart. Like, it's just gone from, because it started off being a single racing game, then to having a co-op thing, and now it's just gone back to single. And I would like to see them implicate double dash a lot more with Mario Kart 9. So that's the feature I'm hoping for Mario Kart 9 that will be in this. Now we're going to talk about the metas. I feel like it's important because the metas in this game have only been 2, and it's been Waluigi Wiggler, which got nerfed, and now we have obviously Yoshi Teddy Buggy. So I do think that we need to have at least a range of metas, right? At least 3 to 5, maybe a bit more, because now we're getting 24 races in one circuit. There does need to be a bit more of metas, so then that way people can pick and there's some originality to it. Now Mario Kart, there's a bunch of karts in Mario Kart. There's a bunch of karts, tires, you name it, right? So there realistically should be 3 to 5 metas, or maybe even more. But in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the problem is that, you know, Waluigi Wiggler, and I'm sure there was some people who loved using Waluigi and the Wiggler anyway, and then all of a sudden it gets nerfed, right? Then they have to go to Yoshi Teddy Buggy. Yoshi might not be their favorite character. The Teddy Buggy might not be their favorite car. The wheels and so on, right? So it's all about characters. Mario Kart is predominantly, if you're a casual, all about character preference. But if you're someone who's a consistent competitive player, of course it's going to be about, you know, the best part, the character, regardless if it's the same as somebody else, right? But I think it's better that way, so you can create some originality, and you won't necessarily have to worry about picking just one. And if one meta kart does outpower the rest, then that one should be nerfed to have that type of balance, right? Because you know there's always gonna be one that's gonna stand out, like how it is now in Mario Kart. But I feel like the gap for the Teddy Buggy and using Yoshi is crazy compared to other karts. That's just where it is. So, you know, and I understand factors like weight and the character's weight and stuff like that goes into it too. But yeah, I think there should be a couple more metas regardless. Lastly, there should be custom circuit building. I think this would be a good idea because we get to kind of see people's creativity on circuits and how they race and how they would like to race, what type of lines they would use, and not only that as well, what type of shortcuts could you make as well for different races as well. So it just kind of depends on how they implement it, how it's going to be done, because they could add this, but then it could be a thing where they kind of do it right or do it wrong. So, and I'd rather them try to, at least if they do it wrong, they can kind of improve on it. And this item I guess this is just more for the casuals. I couldn't see much competitive players doing this. Maybe, well, actually no, I could see both doing it technically, but I think this could be more so for the casuals, but I think it would be interesting to see how diverse someone could make a circuit, and then from there, you know, they could even mimic old circuits, but then also adapt on it. You know what I mean? So that would be kind of cool to see. So that's just something that they could go into the mind of somebody's creative mind and just kind of adapt on how Mario Kart is done normally. So yeah, I remember, you know, 12 to 24 races now. I'm assuming it'll be dope to have that, because then that way you can kind of see that, okay, how would people race with it's 12, how people race with it's 24, different type of racing styles, right? You know, so it could work like that. So I think that could be a cool feature to have, and hopefully we could see that in Mario Kart 9. But yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything on Mario Kart 9. That's my wish list. Those are my changes that I would make and stuff like that. And yeah, guys, just let me know what you would want to see from Mario Kart 9, because I think it's important as well that we kind of just discuss this and kind of see how far they're willing to go with the Nintendo Switch 2. Like what type of changes are they willing to make? What type of things are they willing to adapt on? And yeah, you know, just to iterate again, I would love to see more stuff from the Nintendo GameCube era be implemented to obviously Mario Kart 9. It's just interesting to me, because I feel like when it came to Double Dash kind of got left in, not left in a crazy place, because I think obviously it was loved, but it got kind of left in a weird place, because now I don't see much circuits from previous games using it. You know, yeah, we have Yoshi Circuit, yeah, we have DK Mountain, a few here and there, but I feel like it's predominantly been SNES, N64, and the Game Boy Advance. So I want to see more Double Dash era circuits, and yeah. So you know, and as this video is coming to a close, you guys can obviously see that I'll be hitting 10k VR in the next race. Yeah, so Mario Kart 8, man, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Obviously, I didn't get this back when it first came out in 2014. I got this when back in 2021. Anyway, I think, have I said this? No, I didn't even say this, but I got Mario Kart back in 2021, and I think some of you guys will probably clock anyway, because I started on like 2000 VR, and now I'm on 10k. So it's just kind of like, you know, the journey from that to that has definitely been different. Definitely learned some tips. I definitely learned some tricks to obviously make me a better racer, and you guys have seen all videos from the proof. I do wish I recorded more content from Mario Kart, but there was a lot of times I wanted to just kind of like get a lot of like races out of the way, just so I could focus on you know, obviously, you know, getting to each of the VR milestones. But hopefully for Mario Kart 9, I'll be able to start fresh, and I'll definitely be able to have more Mario Kart content for you guys. So yeah, with that being said, man, it's been a ride, it's been a journey, and as I said before, you know, your input to this video in terms of Mario Kart 9 will be definitely helpful. Definitely made me understand, okay, well, where can we add this, where can we add that, and then of course it would kind of help me just kind of figure out, okay, how can I make certain type of style of videos for Mario Kart 9 going forward, because it's just, typically for Mario Kart, I just typically upload online races. But like I said, if you add in like a custom circuit building, you could showcase a video of that, or you could just showcase that to your friends and say, okay, look, I've made this circuit, let's test it out. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what the Switch 2 is going to be like, because I have heard the rumors of it being just as, not even just, I think it's either just as strong or stronger than the Steam Deck. So if it is stronger than the Steam Deck, that is going to be really, really good. But I'll make a later video on it about the details of the specifications later on when the trailer comes out in April. So yeah, and as we're coming around the corner, guys, of this last lap, I finally hit 10,000 VR. Obviously, I did play another race. I did have to do another race. You know, you have to make sure that you don't want to go back. You just don't want to go back too soon. So yeah, and I did it top 3 in a very good style. But yeah, guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this video, and I'll see you for the next one. I'm gone. Peace.